Is here to react. One of those people who's running for president. We've got Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Good morning to you, Senator.
Are your feelings hurt?
No, not really. I mean, the worst thing we can do is talk about it. That's what he wants, you know. And there used to be a line of civility in American politics, and it's particularly problematic on the left. They never argue with you about your ideas. Their almost instant reaction is to attack you personally and call you a name. And I'm not saying people on the right don't do it too, because it happens, but it's so much more common on the left. I mean, if you read or hear most of the criticisms of me, it's always personal, and it doesn't bother me. I mean, it's what it's become, but, you know, I wish him well in his retirement.
Is it hard on your family, though? When they
Not really. I don't know what station that was on. I doubt my kids are watching.
Okay, good.
It was CNBC. Nobody's watching.
Listen, unless they're on Nickelodeon or Discovery Channel or something like that, unless that interview was on there, my kids didn't see it.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about yesterday was a busy day. In addition to running for President of the United States, you are also unveiling a tax plan. Yeah. It's the Rubio-Lee tax plan. We've got if you're not familiar with it, these are some of the highlights. It would cut the top tax rate for corporations from 38 to 25, eliminate taxes on capital gains and dividends and on inherited estates. For individuals or families, it would reduce 7 tax brackets to 2. You'd either be in the 35 or the 15, and it would create a new tax credit worth up to $2,500 per child. Why are you and Mike Lee doing this?
There's 2 aspects of this tax plan. The first is pro-growth, and multiple groups have looked at this plan and have said there is no more pro-growth plan out there because we make America the best place in the world to invest and to do business in. And we need that dynamic economic growth. This country needs to create millions, not just of new jobs, of better paying jobs. The second part of it is the personal side of it. And we lower taxes on over 9 out of 10 Americans, the vast, enormous majority of Americans. But in particular, help families that are raising children. And I'll tell you why that's important. They are raising our future taxpayers. Social Security and Medicare is funded as pay-as-you-go, which means today's workers are funding today's Social Security. My mom is on Social Security. So when we pay in every month to Social Security, we're funding that. The future payers of my Social Security and your Social Security are the children of today, and parents that are undertaking the expense are investing in America's future. And so the tax plan adds to the child tax credit in recognition of the fact that the tax code currently penalizes families with children.
So a lot of people are saying, look, I don't know if you heard last week, it turns out our deficit's growing again. Up to $480 billion. We're out of whack, along with the $18 trillion we started the year with. And you're saying less revenue, and I promise you growth.
Well, actually, after 10 years through this plan, if you look at it 10 years from now, it'll actually be revenue positive because of the economic growth aspect. But here's the other point. Even if this tax plan raised taxes, it still wouldn't cut the debt or even make a dent on it.
That's because
So here's what we need to do. You have to do 2 things to deal with the debt. You have to grow your economy rapidly, not slowly, not 2% a year, fast. This plan does that. And the second thing is you have to hold the line on future spending. That's a separate issue. This is the growth part of that plan.
Sure.
Well, Senator, your plan, well, there are some people out there who are going, great, finally somebody's talking about it. There are critics on both sides. The Wall Street Journal, on the editorial page, they had a couple of people who look at money stuff all the time, and they say it falls short.
Well, what they say, they don't like the child tax credit. They want
across-the-board cuts.
But we looked at that. So if you got rid of our child tax credit portion, there'd be a lot more people supporting it on that side of the argument. But we'd only be able to cut the rate by 2%. In essence, that's what we're really arguing about here. And in reality, but I think it's much better to say the way we deal with it on this plan is there is a penalty today in the tax code. You take 2 families, same income, same deductions. One has 4 children, one has none. They're paying the exact same tax rate. Our point is the family raising children are investing. If they were investing in a machine,
it's a great way to look at it.
If they were investing in a machine, they could write it off their taxes. They're investing in people, our future Americans, our future taxpayers. The tax code should recognize that.
I love how you frame that up. And by the way, your rollout and your announcement was dynamic. It really was. Many people thought that Hillary Clinton was trying to undercut your announcement and kind of beat it down a bit, when in fact she got out to a slower start. She's actually been out there trying to really portray a narrative that says, I'm every woman. Do you believe that Americans will buy that?
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a long campaign, and certainly she's going to do the best she can to position herself. I'm proud of what we did. I'm glad we were able to do it at the Freedom Tower that holds some symbolic power in our community in Miami. And we'll see. It's going to be a long road, but I feel very confident in our message and that no one will work harder than we will.
Senator, no doubt about it. No one questions your work ethic and how much you've accomplished at such a young age. Among the people that helped you get where you are is Governor Jeb Bush. I know you shared a plane ride with him, and you guys are talking, but going head to head. He said yesterday, I am Marco Rubio's friend. He's a friend of mine. I am not going to disparage him. Is it possible to compete against him and not disparage at least his ideas?
Well, it's okay to have a debate about ideas. That's not personal.
So where do you differ, Senator?
Well, that's a good point. We don't know yet because I've offered
It didn't come up on the plane ride?
No, well, you know, we're friends. We're not going to talk about politics now. Most of the time we're talking about other things, and we'll remain friends. I share exactly what he said. I'm not running against Jeb Bush. There's going to be 9, 10 people running here. I've put out my ideas. Other people will have their ideas. I know it's high-minded, but what I hope is everyone will talk about what they are for, and then let Republican voters and ultimately the American people choose who they want their next president to be. I know that's high-minded, but when it comes to Jeb, that's how I feel about it especially. He's my friend. I have tremendous respect and admiration for him. That will not change.
Does it concern you that this may be another movement election, that it may be the first woman president is what people will defend as their vote perhaps for Hillary Clinton? How do you set up for a victory against another movement election?
Well, look, there's also 2 Hispanic Americans running on the Republican side, which I think is historic. I think that's fine and certainly can get people interested in you. But ultimately, you know, I don't anticipate I'm going to get every Latino vote in America because my last name is Rubio. I have to earn it. Who is standing for the issues that are best for them and for their families?
Sure.
And we're not running for county commission here. I mean, this is the President of the United States, the most powerful and important political office in the world.
You are 4 days into the run. How has it been?
Busy. But it's been fun. Look, it's a unique opportunity. Few Americans have a chance to do. I'm honored and humbled by the chance to do it. America, as I said on Monday night, America doesn't owe me a thing.
Right.
But I have a debt to America I'll probably never be able to repay. I won't be able to repay, but I have an obligation to try to pay part of it back. America changed the history of my family. And I just want the people who today are trying to do what my parents did to have a chance.
Just make sure in your first week, if you go to a Chipotle,
I went last night.
Did you talk to the people behind the counter?
I said I wanted a chicken quesadilla. I know it's not healthy. I'll probably get in trouble. But I went to one last night at Union Station in Washington. So.
Well, fantastic.
Right.
Do we have the surveillance video of it?
You know, I looked for the cameras. There were a couple there, but no one said anything.
And lastly, Senator, why do you think the time's right now? One term in, everyone sees your talent. Why now?
Well, first of all, I think America's at a generational point where it needs to make a change to the 21st century. Our economy and our world is so dramatically different from what it was just a decade ago. One of the reasons why we are not fully benefiting from the promise of this new century is we have leaders that still trying to solve 21st century problems with 20th century ideas. It doesn't work.
We're thankful that you're here. I owe you a handshake, but it's National High Five Day.
Oh, is that?
Give me one of those.
I didn't know
Senator,
that.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining
Thanks
us
for
on
having
the
me.
Curvy Couch.
Great to see you, Senator. Meanwhile, coming up straight ahead, you've seen the commercials about the reverse mortgages. It seems so simple, right?